One second.
Yeah, sure.
Namaste to all of you. A very warm welcome to this evening's talk. As always, we have a very distinguished guest today. It's been 24 days that 34 days we have been doing this continuously with all your support and your encouragement. We have been fighting out this unfortunate lockdown period the best that we can, trying to discover a lot of knowledge, information from people who have been there, seen it and done it. Today, friends, we have Shri Vineet Goenka ji. He is member of Governing Council of the Center for Railway Information Systems, part of Ministry of Railways. He served as the member IT Task Force, Ministry of Shipping, Roads and Highways. And also he was a co-convener of BJP IT cell, especially in the 2014 elections and thereafter. He has written a book, Data Sovereignty, The Pursuit of Supremacy. So he has actually written how digital colonization and other things has to be looked at from an Indian perspective. He was also the man behind what we see as FASTag on all the highways that we see. He and Mohandas Pai ji were part of the task force which did that. He has spoken on various international forums, and today he is a very, serious and respectable voice that is heard in the Delhi circles in terms of data, in terms of digital security, and in terms of how India has to go about with its data sovereignty. Today the topic is also data sovereignty. Friends, as you all know, the future wars are going to be fought essentially either on water or on data. There are only two things on which we're going to fight. So today we're going to talk about data. In fact, the platform we are using, Zoom, is being heavily criticized. A lot of people had come down heavily upon us, and they said, you are pseudo nationalists, you don't respect Indian nationhood, you are using an enemy's platform, whatever. The fact remains that Zoom is an American product. It doesn't, somewhere it sits in their psyche that something is going wrong, and China has taken over. With all this background, we have, no better person than Vineet ji to talk about all these things. Where are we? What is India's position right now in terms of data security? I understand that even if you're moving your mobile, every move of your mobile is getting captured somewhere else. Somebody else knows it. So they know whether your left leg is crumpled or right leg is crumpled. To that extent, our entire data is open to people to read. So given this, what is our data security? Are we really secured? How do we secure it? If we are not in a secured world, how do we secure our protocols? How do we take care of anything happening to us? All these things are something which are very, very critical and important for us, not just today, but the road ahead, how we are going to go about it. Vineet ji being in the forefront of this, advising the powers that be in Delhi, we would love to hear from him, and I'm sure all of you will have questions to ask of him. Vineet ji, floor is yours.
Namaste everybody. How much time do I have? Do I have 20 minutes?
You have as much time as your mind and thought permit you. There is no restriction. There is no restriction.
Zoom allows us.
No. Forget it. Zoom 24 hours for us. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Namaste. I could see
we don't want to. We don't want to restrict your thought process, right? There is no time restriction. Floor is yours.
So let me thank you for inviting me and to meet this August gathering. In the COVID period, when you see faces other than your family, you're so happy to see them. If you see intellectual faces, then you become more happy because these are non-regular faces. Otherwise, I'm happy to see the same old faces of bureaucracy and the ministers in the last 6-7 years.
Actually, Raghu ji is on the call. Raghu is part of your team from Telangana.
Hi, Vineet.
Raghu ji, namaste.
Namaste. How are you doing?
I'm good. And because there are multiple screens, now I think there are 61 people. So I have to search through many names. And I can say many names which are known to me and whom I know personally.
Yeah. Anyway, we are muting everybody. So you can just go with your flow. Once you're done, then we will figure it out.
Okay. So let me quickly go through something. The human mind always wanted to conquer somebody else. So in place of going into the data technical part, what is 7 cores and what are gigabytes, let me take you through why this concept came in our mind. Why this is the first time when a set of people came together, and this set of people are a little different. So if you see the book, there are 4 journals, Lieutenant General Patil, Lieutenant General Shekatkar, both who were former DGMOs of this country, and we had Lieutenant General Khandare, who was that time Director General Defense Intelligence Agency. Currently, he is military advisor to the Prime Minister. We had with us Jaidev Ranade, he is Deputy Director of RAW, and somebody who worked in NPCI, Bharat Panchal, and myself. So this is the first time when you see this kind of combination, politician, RAW director, and army top brasses coming together to write something. Because since 2013, until the book actually got published last year, where Honorable Sunil Ambekarji inaugurated the book in Delhi, there were a lot of things which were going on. In the 5 years we discussed, and when I was part of the task force of IT in MORTH, or while going through the Ministry of Railways, certain facts came to my knowledge and I felt I should pen them down. So in place of penning technical case studies, we penned down the concept so that the country can see that and consider this in the long term. We will have to understand one word, pursuit of supremacy. Then you will understand this war which is going on and why everybody is fighting this war. So pursuit of supremacy has been there for many millenniums. It's not 1, 2 years or 1,000 years, but since humanity has been there, you will see that since humanity is there, 90% of the history which is documented, what you and I know, is battles and victories. So we know who were victorious and we know who were defeated. So mankind has been writing or also uploading or remembering only those who were victorious in those wars. It starts wherever. So if you remember Ramayana, or you remember the latest war which was been fought anywhere in the world, it is about supremacy. And human race has seen till now 3 types of colonization as far as. One colonization I will not spend much time, because you all know that is military colonization, where one man tries to overpower another man. One country overpowers another country so that they can enforce their culture, their food habits, their religion, and their spending, and see the being conquered as to be a colony. And we saw that where we were called as Sone Ki Chidiya, or maybe the golden sparrow, where our GDP was very high, our contribution to the exports were running into 30% of the world's export. We came down to 1.3% export ratio in 1947 when Britishers left us. So what happens when your independence goes and you are being colonized by somebody else? He not only takes away economical advantage, but also your strategical advantage out of you. That is called a supremacy fight. I always have one wonder before I go to the data part and the fight today we have. I always ask one question to myself, and I've been asking everybody. If anybody of you can answer, it will be very good. You know, China built a wall which is of few thousand kilometers just to protect itself from invention. And did it help? Answer is yes, it helped them. Aggressors were demoralized. There was no aggression. When I studied the invention on India, starting from the attack by Alexandra and then Gauri, Ghazni, anybody, they all entered our great land through the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Pass, the Khyber Pass. And if you study the Khyber Pass, it is just 32 kilometers. The area is full of stones, whereas where the China made the wall, that area is not full of stones. They had to actually import stones from far away, 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers. One question which came to my mind is, why could not my forefathers, my ancient wise people, could create a wall there in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area? They would have created the wall in Khyber Pass. The demography of this country would have been different. The religion of this country would have been different. The GDP of this country would have been different. The way we live would have been different. So we studied this particular part. Now, this being a past, we can't much work on that. So we now come to the second part, which happened in the last 2 centuries. People started moving out of blood and all the so-called war, and they entered another phase of colonization, and that colonization was energy colonization. You know, somebody would produce oil, sell you oil on dictate. This is the rate you want to buy it, otherwise forget it. Now there came a third set of country which was neither producing the oil nor it was buying the oil, but yet it would dictate terms to you. So I was always wondering, you know, Iran wants to sell oil to us and we were buying oil. What business US had to dictate us terms, that whether we should buy from OPEC or OPEC plus, or we should, you know, what rate we should buy, whether we should buy from Iran or not. So, and you all know 2 examples. The example of what happened with Colonel Gaddafi or Saddam. It was all about oil. So the last 2 centuries saw the supremacy and the fight for energy. Now let us come out to today's topic and what happened in the last 2 decades. And these 2 decades, the colonization moved, and the colonization has moved from the traditional war or to the oil. Now it is the data fight. Before we could know in 21st century, we were bombarded with a lot of freebies. And now since 2001 or 2002, I've been using Gmail. Many of us use Facebook, Twitter. Now we are using Zoom. And I wonder, for 2 decades, I've not paid a single penny. Why would be that person giving me? And we were talking about things in 2001, if you remember, in MBs, megabytes. And slowly we migrated to something called as GB, gigabytes. And now we are talking about zettabytes, which is almost around 1 trillion types of. And the moment the state, the government, the governance is being done through digital route, the amount of data generated will be enormous. And then the line comes, whoever controls data will control everything. So the fight of supremacy, the pursuit of supremacy has now shifted from guns, bullets to computers and clicks. And how will it do it? Large scale data would require large scale of data centers. There will be a person who controls the data, would have ability to analyze it and also use the analysis which is coming out. There is a saying in Marathi, which I will convert in English for you all. "Jo tad rakhe to pani sakhe." The person who protects the pond would drink the water. You can't stop him. So the person who controls your data will always test the data. He will have the ability to peep in your data. And this data which is being generated, if that is kept outside our legal boundaries, outside our political boundaries, outside our jurisdiction, the people who control that data can run analysis, computing power over it for their own advantages against us. They would know that what is in that data. They can generate information out of the data, which may not be in our interest. So, in this different type of world now, where people would know what you want to eat, what you want to drink. They may influence your habit. You have heard about Cambridge Analytica scandal. You would have heard that in US, somebody tried to rig the elections. So democracies will be challenged. And as simple as that, I heard 2-3 things. People told me about Zoom not to be used because it is Chinese. And Girdarji rightly said, somebody also told me that you go and speak on Zoom and it's not good. And MH also gave a direction. I had an opportunity to talk to somebody very senior in MHA. I said, sir, good, you advised everybody against Zoom. So, but there is a saying in Hindi, कि सापनाथ में और नागनाथ में क्या फर्क है? What is the difference between two snakes? Snakes are snakes. Venom is venom. Venom kills human being. If Zoom takes the data to China and stores the data in China, what does Skype do? What does Google do? What does any other app, which is Microsoft app, do? They take the data and store it in US. How does it matter? Once the data goes out, you are useless. The data is against you. So, somebody very conveniently told you that if US does it, there is no problem. They're very, process oriented and they're pro values. Nothing like that. Whoever controls your data would like to enslave you, whether he's a Chinese guy or whether he's a US citizen. It does not matter. And what is the fallacy? The fallacy is, in US, they would call Sundar Pichai and the congressman would question him that whether are you collecting data, but we don't do that. So this things have to be answered. What is wrong with Zoom and what is not wrong with Skype? Now let me come to this particular topic of today's. Once we are in the open area, what you would see is people talking on various platforms. Earlier, to apply for G2C services, government to citizen services, you would go to an office. Birth certificate, you may go to the local municipality office. Maybe larger tenders, you would go to central government offices, procure the papers, fill it. Somebody knew these things. On the basis of this information, they were stored in a structured way. And the structured information would pass to Niti Aayog, then Niti Aayog, which would be in turn used as to be data set to influence the policy making process. Because it was physical, it took time for them to collect the data, process the data and take information decisions. Now this is digital. So the time taken to analyze is very less. The ability to analyze is grown enormous. Now you can play with the data set the way you want to do it and see the resultant. Resultant is you can make informed decisions faster. Now just imagine if somebody knows that information that how many people are not well in one particular area. Do you think this data can be used against our own citizens by pharma company? Answer is yes. There are certain set of things. For example, the planes when they fly or drones when they fly, can they collect geospatial data through our lands? Answer is yes. We were all people, for convenience sakes, we took Google Maps, we gave them the information. Now they have mapped the entire country. And in turn, we have become slave to that particular app, that when we want to go from position A or position B to any other place, or one geography to another geography, we use that app. Do you understand what the data which we have given is the data which they are trying to sell us? And now if you go and ask Google for a commercial exploitation, certain data, they would charge you and charge you enormously. Resultant is what? Resultant is your own data gets collected by your adversaries, gets collected by the person who gives you free services, and then he sells the data once you become dependent on that data. Fortunately, we are still in that stage where we can take decisions and can challenge this particular part. We can still go against this colonization and say we will not do that. Let me give you one example. You would have seen in 2018 and 19 a huge cry against Aadhaar. If you have seen heard that, then you can all note. Many of you would ask that that Aadhaar database was leaked. There was the things were not right. I had opportunity to go and attend 130 television debates, be it be NewsX, be it be NDTV, be it be Mirror Now, be it be India Today or CNN, every place. So I attended 130 TV debates. I still remember one debate which happened in Mirror Now with this famous anchor lady called as Faye D'Souza. And she said, you take my data and you would know my religion, and then, you can come and do act of vigilante against me. Oh, what a misinformation. Aadhaar does not take your data of religion. Where is the data of caste or other religion been taken in Aadhaar? But there are people who are running behind it and blamed Aadhaar. And then I asked her, lady, when you get a voter's card, you declare your name there, you put your address there, you put your date of birth there, age is written there, and also the caste is written there. And this data is freely available all the political party. You never objected to that. Why are you objecting to Aadhaar now? Then when you go deep dive, and I had an opportunity to meet the people who are behind this, is there a technical challenge in Aadhaar? Answer may be yes, there may be technical challenges. There can be leaks which can be plugged in, but every technology will always have challenges which will be plugged. Technology cannibalizes the technology. So when you make a technology, there is somebody else who would try to play with it. You will have to plug that and remove the challenges. Then what is the problem? Why everybody is behind Aadhaar? And then slowly you realize there are lobbies who don't want Aadhaar to be successful. And I'm not advocating Aadhaar here. I'm just trying to understand data part here. Because the data which is collected is with Indian authorities. It is not with them. Indian authorities can do authentication. So the money generated by authentication of these credit cards or these services like Visa or Master would be challenged. So it was about economics. If you become self-reliant, if you start storing your data in a structured way with yourself, tomorrow you will collect more data. Tomorrow the government can say, okay, whoever have COVID suspicion, please put your name against that thing. We will do this. Tomorrow, government can go further and collect more data sets. Who has water shortage can write their thing. Who wants rice as to be PDS ka primary supply, or who wants wheat can be written. Now, all these play of technology can be done once the system is up. Somebody wanted this system never to be up. So if you see the people who were talking against this, they would never tell you why they can go on Facebook and give everything. Facebook carries your video, they have no problem. LinkedIn carries your video, they have no problem. They write everything on Twitter, likes, dislikes, no problem. But the moment government takes structured 7 or 8 data sets, and which were always been taken. What is new in Aadhaar is only thing is they take your 2 biometrics, which has been taken, nothing else. So the question was not Aadhaar. The question was not whether Aadhaar has leakage. The question was, why are these people and a set of people angry on that? Why are they trying to create misinformation? And then we realized they are trying to create misinformation because 7,000 crore rupees worth business every day done by these companies which do authentication. They perceive that more than $80 billion, let me repeat, $80 billion worth data games will be done in 2030. Simple things. What is the population in this geography so that you can plan for water?
whether this geography should be collected by highway. So when I was on the MORTH task force, I and Mohan Das Pai, we went to the person who was running the toll plaza of Gurgaon. We asked him how many cars pass through. He gave us an information. This number of vehicles pass. We felt the number is not right. So we took the data from geospatial data which was generated, saw the difference. The questionings happened. And thereafter you saw that many of the toll plazas were cancelled. Now the decisions of making roads and highways are not taken by some request. It is done on a scientific way. You collect LiDAR data, you collect information on how many vehicles pass through that particular area. Heat sinks have been done. Now, who would know all this particular part? Let me give you one more example. When I went on railway committee, when I was appointed to be independent director there as a governing council member, I asked my managing director, sir, even a common man, a rickshaw driver in India, knows how to go from one point to another point and estimated time of arrival. Why railways cannot tell that? And see the pain. The standard time of train was morning 7 o'clock. Train comes at 10 o'clock. That pain is there. But if you can tell people that it will be 3 hours late, that pain will be reduced. At least we will plan and go to that place. So I was very upset. We had another gentleman on the committee, Major General Namba, and he said we can't allow Americans to have access to this GIS here. What is the reason? Because train not only passengers, but we also transport strategic goods. Our uniformed officers travel, our battalions travel it. We have goods which are not to be declared travel. So we can't let anybody else to know it. What was the solution? So we went to ISRO. ISRO gave us a solution, and now you see you get the timing of the train on your handset, plus or minus 3 minutes. So you can plan what time to go, when the arrival will come. People inside the coaches are also very comfortable. If it is goods, they are comfortable. But technology has that kind of might. Just think for a minute. If this information is with your adversary, whether it is China, whether it is Pakistan or America, and tomorrow they put the manifest of the passengers traveling in that particular train, how embarrassing it would be. They would have won the battle without fighting the war. You're getting the point. It's not as simple as knowing what time the train comes, but if they tell you which train or where, and just think for a minute, if Pakistan sells railway tickets of Indian Railway to two people, just think, I am traveling from Mumbai to Hyderabad, and Giridharji is also traveling the same train, and we both have the same seat allocated. Say S1, one ticket, seat number 1. Everything is same. 3rd May, same train, same coach. Won't there be a situation? What would happen? I and Girdharji will start having argument. What is the result? You call police or in TT. Now, how many policemen, GRP personnel stand in Mumbai station? It's a one platoon of 91 people. The same situation of conflict for tickets happens in 12 coaches, in 5 trains. It will be a situation. Where will you bring these constables? If this happens in all the stations of India at a time, how will you do it? It would be a civil war without even triggering a war. So the power of data is that you don't even shoot a single bullet. You would just click, and the click may create confusions and disturbance in the area. Now this was a simple thing which we could not understand. Now anything and everything, whether you travel on the road, where you generate data, or let me give you an example. Drones fly and people are so happy when the marriages are there. The photographs have been taken. Do you know this photograph may travel to some other place and it can be used against you? We are very happy when we go on public platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, put photographs of our liked ones, our children's also. Do you ever visit a black site or a dark web and see whether these photographs have been sold? Answer may be yes or no. Or let me take another way. Do they have the information which is used against you? So one day I was in a meeting and Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, he's director of Center for Joint Operations Warfare, St. George. And also he is a decorated hero who headed the Operation Cactus. And he gave me an example, a very warning example. He said in a road construction, there was a machine which was drilling hole. All of a sudden the machine needed repair, it stopped functioning. So the site supervisor, the engineer tried to do everything to repair the machine, the driller. Nothing happened. Finally, we had to go to their manufacturer, the person who manufactured, supplied the machine. The manufacturer from their the country of origin wrote a mail to them, said, you know what, EMIs are pending. Once you release the payment, will start the machine. You cannot stop half. So payments were done. Lieutenant General Vinod tells me the moment payments hit the supplier, the machine started. So do they have backdoors to this kind of thing? If they have backdoors to these kind of critical machines, they would know what are you doing. Farming equipments like tractors may have data collectors which will tell people when the tilling was done, when the showing was done, how much grain would be produced. Just think about if your set of boxes in your house have a backdoor and somebody controls and sees what channels you see at what time. Will that create business propositions which can be worked for you or against you? Will that be the decision making influencing things? So these were all challenges which were there. I'm not going into details further because I think these 7-8 examples which I give would trigger thought in your mind. Today, the thing is, India is capable. We pay taxes in the tunes of what million you can see in the budget. We have fantastic organizations like CDOT, Center for Development of Telematics. We have CDAC, Development of Computing Powers. We have NIC, we have PL. One question comes to my mind. Can't we develop a La Facebook, La LinkedIn, La Twitter, or La Zoom kind of application by these public sector organizations which are paid by taxpayers' money? Or let me give another solution, and through maybe somebody who is powerful in this particular listening mode can take it to the government. Post-COVID, there will be a challenge of employment. We will have people who will not have that kind of same employment which we had earlier. Anyways, there was challenge of employment. Can we go to private sector? We have fantastic companies, organizations we have served for decades to us, be it Infosys, maybe it be TCS, Wipro, Satyams, or some Mastechs of the country. Or you can go to some startups which are folk engineers coming together and starting this thing. And can we fund them through a soft loan, maybe 1,000 crore rupees soft loan with no interest? And say, why don't you create something which creates employment also alternate to these foreign tools? And maybe by end of the year or maybe by end of the next year, we have tools which are alternate. It will solve both the problems. One problem of data going out. Number two problem of the employment. We could, kickstart the economy. I thought it is appropriate for us to understand that data cannot go outside India. Some intelligent people then started putting things like privacy in our mind, and I was seriously taken aback when in one of the television debates in India today, I had somebody, I'm forgetting the name of that gentleman. He said, "I'm happy if the data goes to Americans, but I fear Indian police." No, why would Indian police or Indian agencies do anything to somebody who is a law-abiding citizen? They never harassed me. I'm sure they never harassed Giridharji, even when he stays in Hyderabad, and Hyderabad never saw a government of his own thought. So Indian police is more or less very reasonable, but people speak, and what reason they speak? Do they have any historical data? No, it's a fashion to speak against this thing and use the accents and I would not speak comfortable with Indian police having the data. Now, the moment you have this accent, that colonized mind speaks out of that. I really have one fear. Will they play with our data? Answer is yes. Can somebody sell you medicines which are not required because they have information about your illness? Can somebody sell you fashion which is not required by you? Can somebody sell you eating habits which you may not be actually liking? So the people who control the data would make decisions, would push in thoughts to you, which will change your eating habits, which will change your living habits, which will change your cultural habits. And then a day will come when we will be colonized by them, knowingly or unknowingly. We will lose economically as well as morally and culturally. I thought I'll talk to you. I did it in a one go. Giridharji, my 20 minutes gets over here right now. I would like to stop. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very vast subject actually. Probably you just opened the window. I mean, you need to walk us through the whole property. It's quite a huge, challenge inside. Now let's talk in terms of this Chinese thing. China has provided alternate platforms to almost everything you talk about. Facebook, Twitter, search engine, what have you. Whereas the popular narrative is India couldn't do anything. We don't have any platforms, though we have the largest pool of IT professionals. We are not producing IP. We are not producing anything to compete with these things. So given this, how do you see the future panning out? Would China's hegemony really be used to take over the Indian narrative? And is the fear of the Indians genuine? What are we doing as government, as industry to handle this? Where does America come into this? This entire gamut. How do you look at it from an Indian point of view?
Well, you have asked multiple questions in one go. Let me try and answer one by one, each of them. Well, when you have a set of democracy governance, which differs from country to country, things of decision making and the push of market would be different. So, of course, China being a controlled economy, they take decisions and enforce decisions with iron hand. People there cannot come out and do discussion and debates the way we do. Neither they can go on the road and agitate. So here, see the liberty. I'm part of the government, but I can still speak, which may not be music to the government's thing. And they would not get agitated. They would respect me for my views. So we have that kind of liberty, and that democracy gives you a little setback. The setback is you cannot enforce many times your decisions. So that is one challenge. Number two challenge is, unfortunately, the colonized mind which we have for over 800, 900 years. We always thought what comes from West is good, and this happened with almost everybody. Even happened with people like us. Till we met good people. Had I not met Giridharji, people like you, I would not have turned complete. What do you say, Swadeshi or Indian, and things would have been there. So when I thought of resigning from IBM, people who may not know, I was partner there in IBM till 2003. And when I came up, one of my aunt, hum bua bolte hain Hindi mein, my dad's sister, she loves me, and she came with Sai Baba's ashes, vibhuti, and put it on my head. And I was asking her, what happened? Why are you doing this? She said, Sadbuddhi milna chahiye. You cannot leave a job in IBM which gives you crores of rupees salary, and you cannot come out of that. Something has gone wrong. And the lady, because she was loving me, she said, yes, 3 upwas, she would visit Shirdi and all that. Now, the conception was that if you leave a multinational company and come back to India and participate in policy making and politically, you have gone mad. Ye bawala ho gaya hai. So that is because, one, we are ignorant. Two, we are simple people. Our minds and heart are very clean. So we trust people. So we generally would not like to harm. We don't think the way those people were. And our culture and our geography has a lot of food. We are self-reliant. So we don't steal from each other. We don't have that habit of pulling and hoarding things. So we never thought people were doing it. But there are geographies, there are cultures, and there are economies which have shortage of food, which have been living a life of stealing from others, taking advantage of others. Those economies influence decisions. A. And B, of course, I don't want to shy out from one very taboo word, even if they are seniors to me. Corruption. The greed for personal growth, personal wealth, overtook the greed of national growth, overtook the national interest. And these scholarships, if you ask, I have a lot of friends, children I know for 10 years, 12 years, and all of a sudden somebody comes and tells me, Bunty ko hai na, America ka ye mil gaya, scholarship mil gaya. Now you all have met your friend and you have seen that child been born in front of you, 22 years he has grown in front of you, so you know his intelligence. And then you say, Bunty ko scholarship mil gaya. Bunty was not supposed to go to good, decent engineering college. His IQ is so less. Then how did Bunty get this scholarship? Then you think, oh, Bunty's dad is a decision maker somewhere in the governmental system. So the scholarship. Now this small overlooks because somebody's interest has been met is one of the challenge which we face, Giridharji. And this has not changed, even if governments have changed, even the color of the governments have changed. And we should not shy out from calling spade as a spade. And this has happened. And this is across the professions. It is not with politicians. It is not with bureaucrats. It is not only with technocrats. It's with almost everybody. So what we'll have to do is change the way we look in. Now, what happens with Americans? Americans, they would polish something very nicely. Like I said, 25 days back, a hell lot of viral things went against Zoom. When you ask the sender, sir, okay, I'll stop using Zoom. Why not stop Skype? The answer is, no, उसमें कुछ problem नहीं है. Zoom में क्या problem है? वो पता नहीं कुछ तो problem है. So the herd mentality and somebody who tells you. Now let me give you very different example, and I may be antagonizing when I give this example. When somebody wrote to me about SDFC investment by Chinese, I'm sure each of us got disturbed that how can they invest 1%? But if you study economics and you study the thing, Chinese were holding 0.78% in December. What they actually did is to acquire 0.24 in the last 35 days, which made it to be 1%. And we all jumped saying that, yeah, we have been sold. And, policies came out, and which is right. We should be done like that. We should immediately take precautionary measures. 1% जाने पे हमारी छाती हमने पीटी. We all started beating our chest. 9% stake gone, and we congratulated. Wow, great! You have collected investment. Sir, 1% में तो पूरा हमारा स्वाधीनता चले गया. 9% में कैसे जाएगा नहीं? So, somebody very nicely camouflaged and kept the news in front of you. 1% is loss of liberty, and 9% going out of your hand is a great investment. So we will have to start analyzing this kind of set of information which have been fed to us. Fortunately, all those people who are here, 88 people who are here, except me, everybody else understands these things. So you don't have to see things only technically. You don't have to see things only economically. You have to mix that and also read the message which is coming through. If 1% is losing liberty and worth worrying, 9% losing in Jio is also worth worrying. So that is, if you follow my Twitter or if you followed my Facebook, I took 2 fights in the last 1 or 2 weeks. If you have not done that, I'll send that links to Girdharji, who in turn can share it with you all. One is that I took a matter of advertisements. So friends, if you know, if you give an advertisement in a media company, for example, Amit ji or Mr. Chari or Narendra ji or whoever is Shilpi ji, whoever is watching and listening to this conversation, they place an ad. Now the ad can be in as big organization as Times of India or as small as some gully times, maybe some. And if the ad hurts the interest of the country, if it is against India, there will be action on both the person who gives the ad and also the medium which carries the ad. You try to do it. One, nobody will carry it. And tomorrow immediately you will be arrested. Twitter had an audacity to collect 500 crore rupees from terrorists who want Khalistan. See, putting an ad of breaking India, putting a tweet itself is challenging. The Twitter should not have allowed that. That algorithm should have immediately identified and they should have taken against that particular tweet. But if you go to that, they collected money. And what has happened is, when this money was paid and Twitter ran that, and you can't give ads in Twitter. You try to give an ad in Twitter, they would say that they would subject it to the editorial checks. And your ads are denied many times if you do this. And we objected to it. When we objected to it, we got one-liner answer from Twitter India that they have taken down the account. How could somebody who became such big, and if you see what is Twitter's valuation, valuation is the number of subscribers of Twitter. And India contributes a substantial number of subscribers to Twitter. And they have audacity to collect money against you from the people who want the India to be, and the tweet is very clear, referendum Khalistan 2020. Now, here, Girdharji and everybody who's listening to me, this has to be fought, we as citizens, and we'll have to force our people to either give us a public platform which is competing with Twitter, or we will have to create a market for private players in India who would be assured that once you start a private platform, we all will come there and give you the same support which we give to Twitters and the Facebooks of the world. So this fight is very different, where technology is required, where power of money is required, but also the will, political will and public will is required. If we all start talking about it, writing about it, I'm sure the decision makers in the galleries of power will listen. I hope I've answered you, Girdharji.
Yeah, to some extent, I'll extend that a little bit. See, I'm also a product, or rather, I worked in Google, as you know. I've seen that world, and I mean, forget about the Chinese. The American corporations are racist. Okay, I mean, that's the only word that I can use. I'm sorry, I'm not using it against the company I work for. I'm generalizing it. American companies are pretty racist. So the point is, I had an opportunity to be with the top 4 or 5 CFOs of all the IT companies when I was in Google. Satyam, Wipro, Infosys, and TCS. All four were on the stage with me. So I'd asked them a specific question. How much are they investing in R&D and how much are they investing in trying to create IP? Now, the answer is that they have a corporate policy not to invest in IP, not to create IP, right? Because they say that if they create an IP, they come directly in competition to their, customers. So they do not want to create it. So essentially they are working on cost arbitrage and they're just nothing but body shoppers, they're providing bodies, that's it. The outside gate is Infosys. Once you enter, the floor is Cisco and only Cisco access works. Infosys, nothing. Your only paycheck comes from Infosys. The rest is all Cisco. So given this kind of a situation, what I'm looking at is, I do not see real quality talent of IP getting created in India. One statistics I saw a couple of years back, 50,000 IPs created in US and 25,000 in Japan, 14,000 in China, and 1,400 in India. So we are way behind that particular curve. Even that technology that is getting created in India, they apply to the local IP, get a leave, and go file it in US. I think somewhere as a nation, we seem to be failing in creating technology creating IP, creating original content is not happening. This country doesn't seem to be encouraging. So when we have investors, we have IT pool with us, blah, blah, and everything seems to be okay. But somewhere I don't see that happening. Like China really pushed it down the throat of their IT industry to create alternatives, whereas that is not happening in India. So,
Yeah,
I think like what you said, the tech giants in the USA don't allow things to happen in India. They'll buy them up or whatever. They buy the technology or they buy up the company or do whatever it is. Somewhere I'm a little skeptical, I'm a little pessimistic. It's not happening unless there is a real thrust from the government. This is my feeling. What do you have to say for that?
So I'll answer you by my two experiences. So, if you quote experiences, history takes that experiences as case studies very nicely. We were in this task force meeting. Mohan was with me. Mohan Daspai was there. I was sitting there. Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari ji was there. And we were finalizing certain words. The task force final report was to be prepared. And there was one word where I said, Swadeshi OVSM should be used for cars. Online vehicle smart model should be there. So I wanted to insert that word called as Swadeshi, indigenously built technology. And in a normal course, Mohan said, why do you want to qualify it? OESM is OESM, kahin se bhi aana chahiye. And I said, why? Why can't it be indigenous? It has not started. We have not given the contracts. We cannot move and give contracts as a single go. It will take time. It is a business of 3 lakh crore rupees, which will happen over 2 decades. Why not allow people to come into this business? And then he said, yeah, right. It should be done. And the word Swadeshi was incorporated. After that, one day when Mohan came home and we were having this, and I said, why did you object at that word that day? So he said, I really don't know why did I object, because he also wanted, he's also nationalist. And finally the word Swadeshi OESM, he is the part of our task force which the government of India has taken for that. Whenever OESM will be implemented in this country, it will be indigenous. But why did you object to it that time? He said, no, I don't know. My cautious mind did not catch that particular incident. So what happened, Giridharji, basically all of us have been educated in schools and colleges, not been run by people who talk your language and my language. These have been run by the McLaws set of this thing. So we go through. All of us have gone overseas, done job there and come back. So we use the language which is colloquial language, and we don't realize that that language may have various meanings. And the moment you use certain words which you did not hear for last 2-3 decades, you feel very uncomfortable. See, we used to always say namaste and all, but we went to US, in place of using Girdharji and Vinitji, we started using first word. We became comfortable. So to migrate back from that IBM thought process of first time when I started using G's and people started G to me, I was little uncomfortable. This happens. So not that the minds are bad or the hearts are bad. The only thing is you have to scratch that. That day, Mohan did not have any intention to oppose Swadeshi word in that particular task force report. He just said, And the moment I said, "Ki, hold on," and the explanation was given to him, he said, "You're right, Vinit, put it." So what we'll have to do is, your job and my job is to constantly communicate with the people who are decision maker, educate them, bring to them that ki Aadhaar system may be good or bad, that technical people will take care. Whether there has to be a technical reforms in that, whether new plugs have to be put in, that can be done. Bugs are always been identified in technology, and the technology will always take care of it. But we also have to tell them, okay, why are these lobbies opposing? Their lobbies are opposing because $1 million business has been lost by them. They will be losing that kind of money in next 10 years. So they are fearing losing the market. Why are these people opposing this particular set of things? That has to be addressed. Now, the question is, do we have alternates? So I had a chance, and I would have met over 100 times Dr. Bipin Tyagi, a very fervent nationalist. He is the son of this soil. He used to head CDOT. I met him when I became task force member, so I had a right to talk to him, and I talked to him. He invited me to the labs there. I saw their inventions, and I was taken aback. Fantastic people. I salute to them. With that kind of paycheck, they still work in CDOT. They never migrated to private companies, or they never thought of going out. And the productions, the innovations they did. I said, why didn't you implement it? They said, sir, we were waiting for you guys to come in 2014. Now at least you do it. So I saw one product called as Samvad in 2014 when I visited there. I liked it. Samvad is exactly like WhatsApp, and I'm talking about 2014 September or October. So I went, and then I could talk to the minister, and that time the MOS was Manoj Sinha ji. I'm taking names very cautiously. I know this is on record. So I talked to him. He also was excited. He visited CDOT premises, saw the things. Unfortunately, we have not implemented Samvad.
Yeah.
So these questions have to be answered by our friends also, and we should not shy away from asking this question. Okay, why it was not implemented? In 2000, I'm talking about 2014, 15, 16. Manoj, I think Manoj Bhaiya went in 2017 or 18. So I saw in 14, I took 2 years to take the minister there. Minister understood, he was really excited. And Manoj Sinha is not the typical typecast politician who just says, yes, he is an engineer from IIT, BHU, is a very serious person. Unfortunately, in 2019, he lost. Now he's not minister. So what happened is, this set of decision-making process which we have, bureaucracy, technocracy, and this thing. Decisions are taken by munchis, not by technocrats. Decisions are taken by people who churn money, and the decisions are taken with various other inputs. So we'll have to fight this menace. And I have a lot of hopes, because, like, for example, in railway, we made sure that we don't buy this somebody who will map our trains. So we gave geospatial rights only to ISRO. Yes, you may blame me, or you can blame decision makers that we took some time to implement that, and we gave you the solution of trains only in 2018. We could have used foreign technology, and we could have given you in 2015 itself. So that, but at the same time, when I went through the ISRO route for railway tracking with my colleagues there, we also implemented a Twitter-based grievances handling system, where you can raise your grievances through Twitter and Facebook, and we would solve your problems. You would have seen that, people talked about encroaches in the coach, or the seat not been clean, or the bolts not been working. You would have heard some mother asking for milk, and our guys helping. So there is something called as rightful balance. So what we did is, we did ABC, one which was critical, long-term, strategic. We said, even if it goes slow, we will implement it through only ISRO. The one which was cursory, where we could say, okay, let us immediately give relief to our passengers. So we went on Twitter. So as a nation, you cannot be very hard. You have to be like river. Rivers have a determined starting point and ending point. Ganga starts from Gangotri, ends at Ganga Sagar. But then it adjusts. So if there is a small rock also, the mighty rivers, they adjust their flow. So strategies have to be firm from where it starts and ends where, but at the same time, it has to be very flexible. So as a nation, I think we'll have to all work out what I could not do, or people right now could not do. I'm sure one of these 82 people who are watching us will be able to do it in their lifetime. I'm very hopeful. I see many hands raising here.
Yeah, I mean, we always live on hope, but what you said very correctly. The deep state is something which worries us. The Indian deep state seems to have some kind of understanding with the powers that be from the other worlds. Like what you rightly said. somebody's son gets a scholarship in US, and the guy's a Babu sitting in Delhi behaves differently.
Yeah,
So
it
there
can be
are
a Babu,
levers.
it can be a politician, it can be a corporate. They call it has to be SI also, the
Yeah,
solution guys. So
yeah,
what we'll have to do is this culture has to be changed. The culture cannot change overnight and cannot be changed by one person. So if you think the PM will be able to change it or you can be able to change it, no. What we'll have to do is continuously talk about this, and wherever we can make a small change, every day when you make small changes, things will happen. Uh, I liked when I was watching that serial Chanakya. I liked the way when he was insulted there in Magadh. He took that insult and went back, and he said, "Okay, I'll not come back." Not like that. He came back and again asked for help. He was insulted again, thrice, 4 times. But then, moment he got an opportunity, he made sure he solves two problems. One, create a very strong empire. Two, take off these guys. So what we'll have to do is, as citizens, uh, I'm assuming that people who are here, they have uh, what do you say? They're more powerful than the common person who cannot understand strategic things. They are more powerful than the people who cannot use technology like the way they are using. And today, the world has changed. World order has changed. The days when the leaders who would stand and attract 1 lakh people in tank bunds has gone. The people who would communicate on technology will be there. So in the changing times, people we can all come together and create pressure. If I can request through all of you, please check that post of mine. What I'll do is after this conversation is over, I will pin the tweet where we have raised questions of Twitter helping Khalistan terrorists. If each of you can write one email to the to Prime Minister and also can put in one mail to National Security Advisor, sir, why are they still functioning? Why don't you put them behind bars? Had a common man just thought of saying this in Punjab, he would have pumped him off with bullets. So, we can create pressure. 88 people are there right now on this. 87 people are there on the call. Minus one, myself, 86. Even if 1/4 of this, which is 22 people, write on their Twitter after this, do you think there will not be analytics which will be read? They will be reading these analytics. And it is nothing wrong talking against your own father or your own against senior. So you don't have to be arrogant and fight with them. You have to be polite. In home also, times we go to our father and say, sir, I don't agree. Dad, I don't agree with you, right? So very politely you write and you put forward your right things. And I'm sure good people listen. So what we'll have to do is, Girdharji, whether pushing a homegrown technology, one of our friends who is 4 people company, 5 people company who does not have funds, we should all come together, take the technology to the rightful person. If you have somebody whom you know and you want me to put the words to seniors, I will do that. And we should do that. Whether it works, whether he gets funding, whether his product has been taken or not, is secondary. First step is to take him to the right person and allow him to do a presentation. And I promise that. And I have been doing that every time. Number two, at whatever level we can do it. Do it in this 87 people. If somebody can file a complaint in police station against Twitter, so what we'll have to do is fight them, create opportunity for our people, and also discuss this so that people who are listening to us know that what Indian intelligence is talking about. I'll do one more thing, Girdharji, if you permit me.
sure.
Of a link which can give you complimentary book, my book which is there
Yeah.
with General Shekatkar, General Bhatia, and
Okay.
Raw Editor Jaydev Ranade. All those people who are here, they can take it complimentary.
Great. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure that will really help. Hopefully.
Yeah, हमने 11,000 copy भेज दिया तो we have made our money. So now we want that the digital copy should go. So authors are poor. Earlier they want to sell and make money. I'm very candid with you all. So first 2000, somebody showing me the book. Amit ji showing me the book. Thank you. You got it. So hard copy we made our this thing. We are very happy and we have limited needs. We are very simple people. I'm a vegetarian teetotaler, so I don't have any expense. What I would do is digital copy. I will give it to everybody who's ever this. Read that. And if you can help me to improve it, when I come out with version 2 after 1 year, I will incorporate it. And I promise you one thing: if you see that book on the page, one of the pages, I will have written names of those people who helped me in contributing the book. But does it mean that when I bounce ideas or they were the people in some conversation who not? One and two of them actually made my life miserable because they kept writing to me what should be discussed in the task force and government. Do that. We should wake up the people who take decisions. If they keep sleeping, the country will sleep. Our generations will never forgive us if we do
Yeah,
mistakes.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you're bang on. You really nailed it. Unfortunately, what I have seen is a lot of people are happy being WhatsApp jockeys. I'm using this term. You know, they vomit a lot of spleen on WhatsApp, but when it comes to real action, they all back off. Right?
Now, I see them as to be also rightful people because see what happened is I'm taking a little tangent. Will you all allow me to take 2 minutes different tangent? Is
Yeah,
it
please,
allowed?
please. Yeah, please.
It's an interesting story. So what happened? I was with General Khandare, and General Khandare was Director General of Defense Intelligence Agency, and I was talking to him when the book was to be written. And I asked him, "Why do you really want to write a book and this thing?" He said, "You know, what goes to the next generation is not your voice; it is what is been written. So next generation is going to write. So those people who write on WhatsApp, I thank them because at least they're sending it to the next generation. Otherwise, our thought process will die because you and I may not be able to write everything. So thank them. And General Bhatia explained me one thing. He said, people get excited when they see tanks. The bada rangada jab aata hai, armored vehicle comes, they get very excited on the RD parade. But it's a small component of the army. Army has large number of people who are on foot and they carry only one rifle, whether it is SLR, whether it is automatic machine guns. The numbers are more. So Girdharji, in a nation formation, ideological formation and philosophical discussion, intelligent people like you are important, and also people like us who write small things on WhatsApp are very important because we carry your messages to the larger people. So both are important. The one who is having the armored vehicle with him is also important, and one who can just attend. And see, this conversation is not possible. 86 people coming here, leaving about their crucial time, without this WhatsApp junkies or jockeys, which you call them, or people, because they help us take our messages across.
Yeah, that's true.
Let us give them due.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but the only thing is, if they go a little beyond and do the right thing, what you suggested.
Yeah.
Maybe tweet to the PMO, tweet to the Prime Minister, and
one promise: if everybody who is here right now, we are 87 people. If you can promise me to take the tweet of Twitter participating and taking money from Khalistan and you saying that they should be arrested, given the same punishment. What is the difference between Twitter and this Umar Khalid? They both are talking about breaking the country. What is the difference between the terrorist and the blood money taking Twitter? It is same. If terrorists also paid money from the blood money and this company is also paid money, we should oppose this. And we should oppose them on their own platform. So what we should do is we should not shy out from that. We should not say that Twitter ke बारे में oppose कर रहे हैं तो Twitter पे नहीं करेंगे. पहले Twitter पे करेंगे. Let Twitter and algorithms tell them that you try to play with us, we Indians will blacklist you. So one, that action item I'm calling upon you. Please help me out to do this. And two, don't fear, right? I have one message. If you don't quote me, anybody, when you do conversation on Zoom and all, you're always been quoted. People in power, they fear those people who write to them. So if you write to them, they know this document will be there. So whenever you have ideas, write to them. If you can write in your own name with your signatures, nothing like it. If you fear backlash and you feel that you should not do it with your current economical or your family responsibilities, I can understand. Don't write in your name. Write it as an anonymous. Let me tell you one thing. Britishers have put in a beautiful system. I hate Britishers for everything, but one thing I like. If a paper comes inside the office, it is documented. Hindustan mein jaban gum jati hai, lekin paper nahi gumta hai. So please write. If whatever ideas you have, whatever thing, write it, because if you write it, it will be there in documentation, and tomorrow you can show the document to people that I have written it. As I said, if you can write it in your own name, you have that courage, do it. I would not mind if you don't have courage, because everybody is not supposed to be soldier and fight. You can write it anonymously. And if you can't write anonymously also, give it to Girdharji. Girdharji will give it to me. If I have courage that day, I will write that. In case I also don't have courage, then maybe probably we'll have to leave it to the God who cannot do it. So I would like to thank everybody. If there are 2 more questions, 3 more questions, I'll take it.
No, you're not going out anyway. Do you have any TV show now? No.
Yeah, 6:20. I have to go inside ABVP talk. ABVP Himachal has done it. So till 6:20, I can come.
Okay, 15 minutes we have. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Or otherwise, what we can do is you all have my Twitter handle @Vineet
We
VINITGOENK.
posted. We posted
Yeah.
in the message. Everybody has it.
Yeah. So you can
Let's
write me.
quickly start the Q&A. Yeah, Rajesh ji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, just a second, sir.
Yeah, Rajesh, please go ahead. Yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, done. It is
Yeah,
done.
please. Yeah.
So, thank you, Vinik ji, for your wonderful talk and the way you have presented and with very openly. I will actually ask the same question where Girdhar ji actually did some small explanation about that. Why don't we have YouTube and our own search engine? I was just going through CDAC Samvad. It looks wonderful, but it is not able to, we are not able to use it. I think we have to bring that kind of a things out. And just now, recently, government announced a prize money to create a Zoom alternate. Can we see that kind of a things soon for more and more other options or alternates for creating something from our own things? And
Rajesh ji, you need to be fast. There are a lot of people waiting behind.
yeah, one major thing is why we are not able to actually bring our own system is we need to change our IT education. I think
let's not go into the larger debate.
As I said, answers are very simple. The culture, and we will have to blame ourselves. Our culture is to take the easy route. We'll have to change that culture, and I don't shy out from that. Be politicians, they take a easy route. What can be easily given, they try to give that. Bureaucrats have that easy route. What can help is them. And two, the hurdle is corruption, not taking the decisions. Let us not shy out from that. Be it CDOT, CDAC, NIC, BEL, from the public side or the private side. We will have to create public opinion and push that. And I have seen one thing. Once you start discussing and once you start pushing things, then decisions are taken. I'll give you one very good example, Rajesh ji. I was in the task force. You know what was the maximum request which came to us? Was removing this toll. Everybody wrote to us, we don't mind paying toll money. We have problem with the toll nakas. You charge me 30 rupees, I have no problem. But why do I have to wait there for 6-7 minutes to take the ticket and then go ahead? Replace that. You know, there were other challenges which are more bigger. I don't want to spill them because I'm under OSA. Because we got maximum request on that, first thing which the minister asked me to do is to put a replacement to that, and we started doing that. And you will see that over 7-8 years. Country is big, so you cannot overnight change over saying, okay, we will replace everything. So I give that credit to implementer that they will take 7 to 8 years. But take my word, 2023, we will not have a single toll plaza which will stop you for 10 seconds. So I think, Rajesh, one thing which went wrong is we were not asking questions. If 100 people start asking question about why Twitter India was not arrested, do you think people in the positions who can take decisions will overlook this? Just see the way Marcus guys did it. 100,000 people. I saw one tweet by this lady, Sabha Naqvi, saying, the old person was a fool to tweet something. But then he being an old in Ramadan month, he should not have been sent notice. And 100 people did that. And then immediately the IPS lobby started talking about it. We should not have done this in Ramadan period. We should have done after that. Well, law has to be implemented. Why do you have to see the time and month? Law has to be implemented the way it has to be done and immediately. But the answer is there was a lot of noise on the social media which was heard by the system. Do we guys who are rightful people, who think for this country, who thinks for economical benefit of the common man, do we make noise? We don't make noise. We talk only in the lifts. We only talk over food at each other's house. Thankfully, COVID happened. I'm using this word, thankfully COVID happened. Thankfully, we have these Zoom talks. And thankfully, I met you, Rajesh. My strength has increased. Before this, I would not have seen these fantastic faces on the screen. Nobody had time. Now we have 88. So my voice, which was heard only once, now it will be heard 88 times. If we all today, see my second call is from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. 8:30, I will tweet again about this, what you call Khalistan matter. 8:30, please check my Twitter. And between 8:30 to 9, if half of you can retweet it without writing your views, do you think the noise will not go? social media analysis is not only done by the company which runs that social media platform, it is also done by agencies. And they would get the mood of this country. So my request to you will be, create pressure. Whether the government is of somebody else or our own party. If it is our own party, our duty to create the pressure, rightful pressure is more. See, if you are younger to the leader, treat him as like father. If you are elder to the leader, treat him like son. The son also tells the father and father also tells the son. So we have that relationship and liking for our leaders, we should tell them. So when some things are there, I suggest my father and I also suggest my son. The same way we should go back and tell our leaders, you don't use harsh words, you don't use murkier words, you use polite words and you write it to them. If things can be written in open domain, write it open domain. It cannot be written in open domain. Use emails and write it to them. There's no expense for that.
Sure. CSR Prabhuji, please go ahead, sir. Sir,
yes.
just ask the question.
I
Sir.
was
He's about to leave now. Yeah. Prabhuji just asked the question. He's about to leave actually.
Yeah. I have 9 minutes more. 6:20 I have to leave.
Yeah. Now the new technology that is coming up is IoT and fog computing in place of deep learning and big data analytics. So if you want to drive India to a leadership role in these new technologies, we can focus on specific research problems, which I have written a document on this vision document. I would like you to examine it and push it to the right channels.
Of course, we can do that. If Girdharji can connect.
I'll connect you to Prabhuji after the call.
Right. Thank you.
I'll connect you with some senior people who influence decision in this country, and you can directly talk to them. I'll make sure you talk to them.
Sure. Shilpi,
where are you? You are in which city, Prabhuji?
Hyderabad. He's in Hyderabad. I'll connect you to him. No problem. Shilpi ji, please go ahead, talk. Yeah, we can't hear your voice. We can't hear you. Shilpi ji, we can't hear you. I think you have to switch on that this thing. You have to switch it on, I think. Your mic is off. No, we can't hear you. No.
Shilpi ji can call you on the mobile and you can put the mobile in front of you.
Yeah. Maybe you can message us. Okay, we'll wait for you. Your mic is an issue there. We'll go to somebody else. We'll go to Mayurji. Mayurji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Matam Mayurnath from Mehboob Nagar. Am I audible?
Yeah.
You are very much audible.
Sir. Regarding Twitter, sir, Twitter has been suspending so many accounts nowadays. Even he is targeting right-wing soldiers, especially. Why this is happening?
This is because you are fallible people. So you don't defend yourself because you don't fight for yourself. See, I'll tell you one simple thing. We as a CKS,
we are writing so many mails, sir, to Twitter India.
So you are trying to tell the aggressor, आक्रांतों को बताएं कि तो आक्रांता के आपको मेहरबानी थोड़ी करेगा. So if you want to fight them, fight the war the way it should be fought. First thing, the foremost thing is you should file a small complaint with METI. On METI's head, this is wrongfully been done. I'll give you a classical example. We have this think tank called as CKS, Center for Knowledge Sovereignty, which works in this data and 5G technology and the 4IR technology, industrial vision technology, headed by Lieutenant General Shekatkar. We have 300 followers. Very serious think tank. Does not write anything absurd. Simple things have been put. Twitter deliberately, suspended that. We did not take the fight only with Twitter. We took the fight at various level. We took it to the PMO. We made sure it has been heard. I love this gentleman, Anand Kumar Hegde. They suspended his account. What he did is he made Twitter India's life miserable. He took out all the information and gave it to the Prime Minister. And it is a parliamentary question here now. Now, nobody can stop that to be discussed in Parliament. I would request, if you have people whose accounts have been suspended or whose followers have been reduced, will those guys whose accounts have been suspended will write a complaint letter to me in my name? I'll take it up. So they should write to Prime Minister via Vineet Goenka. I'll make sure the letter goes to the PM. See, our job is to create that pressure. Whether PM takes the cognizance, whether he puts an action or not, that time will tell.
Anand Kumar ji will be on our call this week.
Or what I can do is I can talk to Anand ji. Every complaint will be taken seriously. You put that they have done it deliberately. Only make sure the handle which has been suspended should not be using a language which you and I cannot take with our family. That because many times what happens is there are genuine challenges. People use language which is not parliamentary, and so they take it down.
Yeah.
But anyway, if the fight is there, let us fight them out. So
Yeah,
whether the
fine.
handle was good or bad, you give it to me, I'll take it up.
Thank you. Amit Sharma ji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, thank you so much for this talk. One suggestion and one question. So the question is, are we also looking into AI-based data that is being captured? Because with a lot of voice recognition happening, Google releasing a lot of voice apps, even for children. There is a Google Bolo app for children. So they are capturing data of voice and they are using, so even as we speak, they are trying to decode data. Google Meets is decoding data. So that is one concern if that is being taken into account. And one suggestion, everybody has an issue with Twitter. And the simplest way I think this can be disrupted is IRCTC can launch one version, a national version of Twitter. They can, resolve passenger issues on that platform. So half of the population is going there by default.
Exactly. So this suggestion, Amit ji,
Thank you.
there is an old saying in army or military strategists who understand. Always take that war on the enemy territory, so that when you put the mines or you put shells, they fall in their territory. Meri zameen kharab nahi honi chahiye. So let us do this fight on Twitter itself. So when you start writing this on Twitter, that let Twitter be spoiled for that. So you write a mail to me, I'll take it in your name, so that the claim comes to you when the things are done there. We should all be having the humble claim of our own suggestions, right? We should not be इतना परोपकार नहीं होना चाहिए कि हमारे suggestions हम दूसरे को दे दे. We should have the IPR with us. So this IPR is with you, Amit ji. I promise this IPR will be with you. Write this about IRCTC. I will take this with the ministry in your name.
Yeah, Shilpi ji, we'll try one last time.
This is the last question because now it is 6:18 and I have to. My hard cut is 6:20.
Yes. Let's see. Shilpi ji, can you talk? She's unable to talk. Okay, forget it.
You can call up on the mobile, your
yeah.
mobile, and you can put the phone.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe GSK. Yeah. Meanwhile,
Sir, I have a very quick question.
GSK. Yeah, GSK. Yeah.
Sir, I have a very quick question. This is a legal perspective. When the data sovereignty, when an individual is voluntarily giving up the data by signing up an app, and a country has its sovereignty of the data of its citizens, apart from the fine line of privacy and having servers in the country located, is there any legal framework that we can actually fight, or is there any framework that government is looking for to stop this data being used by some other countries where it is stored, or how this can be handled in a legal framework?
Yeah. I'll answer your question. I think Shilpi ji's call is there. Shilpi ji, I'm putting your speakerphone. You can ask the question. Yeah, she disconnected, I think. To answer your particular question, when signatures have been done, of course, legally you are not right. But let me tell you, when you coerce somebody, the signature which they take is a blue tick which you can absolutely digitally, payable document. You go on, the thousands of documents are there and you don't have a hard copy of that. These documents can be changed by the person who has asked you to sign that acceptance. Itself is a challenge. We'll have to again create this, go to courts. Maybe one of us has to go to Supreme Court and ask that this cannot be done. There cannot be a perpetuity of enslavement, where you cannot sign your data for perpetuity. So there have discussion has been there. I met Lieutenant General Panch, who heads NCSC. I gave him my suggestions, and the strategy paper which is coming up 2020. I hope they take cognizance of that. Thereby, I asked that they should take permission of every individual user every time they use the data for commercial interest. Now, whether that will happen or not, we'll have to come together. We are fighting a mighty empire. Or, letting
That's nice.
now, I'll have to. Shilpi ji, if you call me within 1 second, I can answer it. Otherwise, I'll have to.
Yeah, or maybe
I've got a call. Yeah. Please go ahead and ask me the question first.
Yeah, my question is, what is your view regarding the data controversy related to Railway Safety and RCMCA? Because again, the same thing is the picture about data handling and other things. What is your view regarding that?
Unfortunately, I have been busy with a lot of roundtables and Zoom calls on various other issues because being a part of CRS. So I have not seen that. good you raised this question. Let me go back and study, and then I'll comment it with authority, rather right now, commenting without a study of that particular app. So what I'll do is, Girdharji, I'll have to thank everybody for inviting me, and abruptly have to leave this because the other window is on another laptop.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bharat Mata ki jai.
Namaste, Bharat Mata ki jai.